20th of March. I'm going to sow some peas, and then in a day or two we'll have a look at the other seedlings. So these are just being sown in the gutters like many of us YouTubers do. You don't have to, you can sow them direct. Probably wait a week or so, unless if your ground's nice and dry. This is the Good Home multi-purpose compost that I'm sort of, testing some different compost from B&Q that they donated. So I thought I'll do these in this. I was going to do them yesterday, but the compost was quite wet in the bag, so I put it in the wheelbarrow, just broke it up with a fork and left it overnight, and it's been sunny today. So I thought I'll get these in before it goes dark. So it's dried out a bit. It's fine, it's a bit more twiggy than normal, but it's peat free. So I'll put the link in the description for this compost, and if you want to try out, but I don't see there's going to be any problem with it. So basically these are just called square gutter, but you can use round gutter as well. It's kind of filled about an inch from the top. I hope you can hear me okay, the breeze is getting up a bit. But these won't be sort of staying outside, because obviously birds will peck the peas out and mice as well, so I'll probably put them somewhere warmish just till they germinate, and then they tend to leave them alone once they've germinated, apart from pigeons might nip the tops, so I'll just be a bit wary of that. You might put a net over them or something. Once they get going, they're usually okay. Because in the olden days people used to soak the pea seeds in paraffin to turn the mice. But we shall get on with these. I've kind of split, I just got one pack, I've split them into 4 individual amounts, because sometimes you oversow in one and you end up with a real dense row. You can sow them like a 5 of dice, if you've got time, but I've done both ways. Yeah, they're a bit thinner and nice even looking crop around the old germinate, but I've just got 4 equal lots, going to bung them in, just sort of scatter them liberally. Don't worry too much about it. So, right, it's Hurst Greenshaft, so I'll put it in the description anyway. You just spread it. If it ends up a bit more dense somewhere else than others, you can take it up if you want. I'm not too concerned about that. They will sort itself out. Say if your compost is really wet, just let it dry out, because it can rot off quite easy. Now, I did soak these peas, because I wasn't sowing them, I didn't want to leave them too long in actual water. So they have swollen up and they've dried out a little bit. They'll be fine, provided they're viable, because there is a bit of a thing around at the moment where there's be a lot of bad seed, to be honest. A few people are struggling with germination on things, more so like onions. I think Nigel's had a problem with some shallots. It's quite common now to see shallots, to be honest. Because you can do them identical, different types of seeds in the same environment, same compost. Some germinate well, some none at all. And you can't put that down to you, it's just bad seed. You used to say you don't get a bad seed, you just get bad gardeners, but you do get bad seed. But you can't really tell, unless if it's old seed, and they shouldn't be selling old seed. It should all be fresh. It's a bit dense in a few places, just scatter them about a little bit, it'll be fine. I'll pop that one there out of the way. Then just simply top them up with a bit of compost. Scatter a few more down that end. It's just duct tape at the end of these, a little gap under the bottom, just let any water drain out. You don't have to, you can just put press a clump of compost at the end a bit harder, to block it up. Probably aim to plant these out in about 3 or 4 weeks. Well, I tend to try and leave them as long as I can. Once you get about, 4 inches high, and start sending the little tendrils out, that's when I put them out. And then I tend to put a string along them at the bottom, just to try and pin them back against the net that I'm going to climb up. Do any of your peas this way. Peas do like to be buried a little bit deeper. But as general, you get away with twice the depth of seed. And you'll be fine with that. But you can just press them into the top and they'll germinate. But they'll get the roots a bit deeper down, and then just keeps them a bit sturdier. And as soon as they start, they're about an inch high, they'll be out in the elements, because I want them to get that little bit of a breeze to rock them around. I think once they've germinated and they're brought out into the cooler weather, they'll just end up a lot hardier. You know, and I tend to tilt these on an angle when they're outside in case it does absolutely chuck it down. You know, the water can drain out one end quite easily. I mean, it's not really heavily packed down, this or anything, you know, because it will settle. I will water it, even though the compost is still slightly damp. You know, because you don't want any sort of misfires. Because once the seed sort of sprouts and dries out, that's it. You can't recover from that. Personally, I think a seed can take in some water and dry back out dormant again. The trick is, as long as you can't see any seed, you're all right. You know, use your own compost for this. It doesn't have to be anything special. Just a general multi-purpose will do fine. Doesn't matter if it's quite chunky. Because peas are quite a robust seed and they'll come through. But if it's a bit too tightly packed on top, when they come up, because they're quite dense, they can lift a big flap of compost up. So just go easy when you water it. Better off like not really puddling it. But the more open of compost you can put on top, and the easier it is for the little shoots to come through. You can just sow these like this for pea shoots if you want. You know, just harvest them from the gutter. You know, for having salads and stuff. If you're going to put them in a polytunnel, I'd probably say hang them up, because you'll think, you know, mice can get all over the place, but if they're sort of hung from strings, the old mice shouldn't be a problem. You know, because you can think, oh, they're not germinating, and because there's none left in there. And you get a mice could clear a load in a night. I used to sow them direct, I'd cover them with chicken wire. But they still get in. So it's just I don't know, it's just a bit easier to do it like this. You can do it in a big full length of gutter if you want. People do. There is a bit of a knack to getting them out of the gutters, which is why I only do these. These are like just almost 5 foot long, these. I always end up about a foot short. It's roughly about 20 foot row of peas I'll be doing. And just before you're going to plant them out, you kind of really flood them with water, and that kind of loosens all the bottom up, makes it nice and heavy and slippy. And when you tip it, you make a little gully in the soil, and when you tip it, it will quite easily, with a little bit of a persuasion and a good steep angle, just slide straight out. I've done it each year, so I've got some videos, you know, previous years of me doing it, but I'll be doing it again in a few weeks. So just give them a bit of a water. I say, because if you soaked them, it speeds up a bit of germination time because they've absorbed some water. It's just a case of just a quick sling of water over them. Don't need much, just to settle that compost down a bit. That's it. That's the peas all done. I'll let them drain for a while, and then I'll put them somewhere a bit sheltered, you know, where they can get a bit of sun, because we're due for a good few days of sunny weather, so hopefully that'll speed things up. I can put a net over them in the sunshine and that. It should be fine, and we'll have a look at them probably in the next video, but we'll have a look at these seedlings in a day or so. Get the weekend out of the way and we'll have a look at all the seedlings. I've got a bit more bricking out to do. Right, it's the 22nd of March now, so I've come down the plot today just to pay the rent and just spend a couple of hours here. So I've pulled the cover off the potato bed, which is just a cheap tarpaulin, and it could do with some like proper black visqueen really, because the worms haven't really been up in there. They're in there at the moment, but it's not broken up that much. So just because it was quite well stuck down, so I've gone through it with like a 3-pronged cultivator just to fluff it up a bit, because otherwise it'd be a bit of a nightmare, you know, when I come to put my potatoes in. So I'll probably do similar to like I did last year. Probably just rake it to the side, put my spuds in, and then put it over the top, and it can break down through the season, like a bit like a mulch really. And you know, obviously when I dig my potatoes up, it'll get dug in then. That's the plan anyway. These other beds I've had a little scuff about, just a little dust of bloodfish and bone meal on all the beds, and pretty much like about 30 litres of green compost, just the stuff I collected last year. It's rotted down, it's like dust really, and just put that on top and scuffed it about. So there's not even a centimetre, just to put a bit of something in them. Apart from that, I've put some ericaceous compost around my blueberries just as a mulch, because I got one bag from B&Q which they donated. I can't really put it to the test against anything, so I thought, well, you can use ericaceous for fruits. Strawberries don't mind it, raspberries don't mind it, and if you get scabby potatoes, you can acidify the soil a little bit, with ericaceous compost. Or the old-fashioned way was use grass clippings when you put your potatoes in. That kind of deters the scab a little bit. So a little tidy up. I say that end up there with the compost bins, everything. That's the last bit. So is the fruit cage. All that end of the plot is sort of the last thing to think about, really. Work-wise, I might, if I get a chance, I've got some stuff to do at home because I'm making a new compost bin at home. I'm not going to video it, it's just some broken pallets, I've just patched them together. I'm just going to try and make a 3-bay compost bin. I might put some pictures together or something, as I'm doing it, because obviously I've got to empty the 2 bays that I've got there at the moment and then move a load of stuff around because there's not much room behind that polytunnel at all. But there's some purple sprouting broccoli, which I'd forgotten about actually. Even though I was down here a few weeks ago, I'd spotted it was coming, so I'm going to pick some of that now. It's not massive, but it'll do. It's something to pick while I'm here, apart from that, the plot's kind of ready. It just needs work, really. The ground's pretty much ready to go. It's just things like, fence need patching, just stabilising everything, really. I've got to source materials, which is a tricky thing because I've not much money. So I might have to, like the fence, I might have to just get a few posts and just try and patch up this existing one for now, because I priced it up. It's over 200 quid to get all the timber for this, and it's just money I haven't got at the moment. So obviously I've to pay me rent for today. It's not cheap, this plot. It's 150 quid a year, which is a bit ridiculous, really. Considering, local council ones are like 30, 40, 50 quid, but just can't get on them. And some of the ones you can get on, there's absolutely loads of rules. You can't have sheds, greenhouses and all that sort of stuff. No fences or anything like that. But I've got my name down, I am looking for another plot long term. But like I say, this is year number 10 on here for me, on this particular plot. Well, come August anyway. So I'm going to pick the purple sprouting broccoli, and then the next thing will be probably, it might be in this video, if not, being the next one. It's just some pricking out and look at the seedlings. So we'll get on with that. This is a nice little, bonus crop, as it is sort of like an afterthought, because I don't know if you remember last year, I just kind of had some plants. I thought, where can I bung them? So I just bunged them in here. They've come good, so a bit fiddly picking little tiny shoots, but I do like side shoots, they're not massive. These side shoots, I'm going to take them and say, plenty of stalk as well. Because the stalks are nice and tender. Selling in supermarkets as tender shoots or something like that. Just green broccoli, which is just a side shoots, and good God, they're expensive. I just keep cropping these. You'll probably get, I don't know, a month or so out of these now. I say it's kind of unprepared ground, this was. I remember I had some sort of brassicas in there, some leftover cabbage and whatnot last year. Had a long year early on that kind of got battered by slugs and whatnot. So it's nice to have a bit of a bonus crop. Because I've still got absolutely stacks of collie and broccoli left at home to eat, to be honest. So she'll get on and do this. I might actually have these for my tea tonight. Just trying not to catch my finger. I did that the other year. Sort of reaching over and I lost my footing a little bit and just sort of squeezing the secateurs and clipped the end of my finger. Which when you play the guitar, it doesn't help. Luckily I didn't have any gigs planned. It took a good month to heal anyway. Let's take that main head right off, because there's loads of bits on that, so I'll just take that whole bit. There's no set way to trim this. Some people, let them get a bit bigger and whatnot, and just take the tips, but nothing wrong with the greens. So it's all nice and tender, that. A bit like when you get asparagus, you know, which is just starting to appear. So I'll just put like an inch of mulch over the top of them, just to hold them back a bit. But, still not planning on what I'm doing with that. I'll just carry on picking this, and then I'll probably see you back at home in the polytunnel doing some bit of a catch up on how the seedlings are doing. Right, it's 25th of March, so we'll have a look around at how all the seedlings are doing. Apart from the peppers, are still under the lights in the attic. So I thought, instead of, you know, I'll do an update of them in the next video. So we'll have a look how this garlic's doing, because it's getting ready to go down to the plot soon. Doing alright, staying out here now to just harden off a bit. As you can see, we have a new compost bin sort of built, 3-bay one. So I've got to demolish that other half there, if you can see it. I don't know, the light's not so good at the moment. So I got some pallets a couple of weeks ago, and the other day I knocked all that together. It was hard work, so I put all my own compost in this end bay. It's not quite ready, to be honest. I was hoping to use it for potatoes, but it's not quite broken down enough yet. No worms in it as such, but it's just still a bit chunky. But it'll be ready, you know. I could use it as mulch, you know, no worries there. Obviously that's the new pile loading up. That's currently cooking at around 52 degrees at the moment. So I'll probably leave that a little while, and then when I come to turn it, I'll turn it into one of these new bays and then demolish that then. I've got this thing here that's full of the old paving flags at the moment, so I need to stack them somewhere else once that's out of the way. Bit of a clear up the top end here, just clear the paths, put some spent compost. I added some pots, some of my own actually. I grew some potatoes in last year, I just put on that middle bed. So these beds are ready to go now. It's just covered up, just to kind of humidify and moisten it up a bit, because that's usually the first bed I plant up with some lettuce, which are desperate to go out. So I've not quite decided on what I'm planting, where. All them strawberry runners I took last year, they're all in these 2-litre pots. I don't know where I'm going to put the strawberries yet. So we'll have to just play that one by ear. They might have to just sort of find a little spot in the ground somewhere and just dump them in this year and keep snipping the flowers off and then dig the crowns up next year. So I just need to take all this old foliage off. Now that, you know, 'cause I potted them on about a week ago. Just take all this old foliage off, give them a good liquid feed and put them outside now, because it is warm enough. What else have I been doing? Shed's a bit of a mess, but all Spud's chitting away there. So I've got my usuals really. I've got Duke York, Orla. Them all are my own from last year. I saved some. Then we've got the other 3. I've basically got Jazzies, Charlotte's, and Maris Peer. That's just covering the ground. Same again, just to dampen it up, because I had a bit of a fire last night on there, just to get rid of a lot of old pallet timber. Carrot box, that's I've dug that out, lined it with plastic and filled it back in. I've not bored it out yet. That one is all bored out and filled up with compost, ready to go. I just need to see if I've got any seeds. I don't know if I've still got some of the long red intermediate carrot seeds from last year. Should get fresh really, but we'll see. In here is a load of spent compost in there from potatoes last year, and also, don't know, like that black compost is full of spent compost, so I'll probably be just reusing that for me any potatoes in pots this year. What I'm doing, I don't know yet. I've got some Swift now, so I've managed to find a bag. I'll probably do them in them little 20-litre poly pots. And because the sun's out, this little fella's out. Had a couple of days outside now in the daytime when it's warm enough, but he's doing all right. He's a bit, he's just getting used to it. You know, he's got to build his strength up in his legs. He's not had much room to romps around It doesn't take him long, you know, once he's had a couple of weeks out here, he'll be marching, trotting around and ramming into things and making a noise, but he's currently just eating a bit of courgette and some bit of spring greens, really. Looks like he's struggling with that bit. I dropped it. What else have we got down here? We'll have a look in the polytunnel in a minute. Not a lot going on down this end. I need to sort of just clear that area ready for the sweet peas. Probably just put like an inch compost on it, a bit of bloodfish and bone. These are strawberry crowns. Down here starting to come through. Peas that I sowed a few days ago now, they're starting to come through. Hopefully they won't rot off, these can stay out now. I'm pretty certain nothing's going to go mad at them, hopefully. But you never know. Sweet peas, a bit patchy. I have to sow any more. I'll probably spread them out and drop some seeds in as well. Because when I was at the plot the other day, in front of the shed, I just sowed some direct in the soil. Just clean these up. Got a little sage thing. I just hack it back each year and just put some fresh shoots out, and parsley from last year. Probably good to seed soon, but not wrong with it. So we'll have a look in the polytunnel now. Oh, I'll show you tomatoes actually. So these are the tomatoes that I've pricked out that I'm keeping. They're all in sort of like, what are they, probably 8cm pots. There's 25 in there and 8 in there. More than what I need. But I've not exactly sown any real backups yet. So I've got the rest of them in the polytunnel. But these will go back under the lights for a couple of weeks, and then I'll bring them outside in the daytime. I put them there because obviously they've been pricked out and they can sulk a little bit. But so far, because the sun's not beating on them, you know, they did sulk a bit earlier on, but they've perked back up. You know, that's it. If I put them in the sun now, they'll probably just dry out. It'll take them long to tap some new roots in. And it's just dead easy to prick out, same as anything really. Tomatoes can do a bit deeper, still full of carrots, so I need to pull them out because they'll go seed soon. Right. So I've got the lettuce. This should have gone out ages ago. This is out of Valen. I've got some Grenoble Red. Loads of Rocket, 2 varieties of Rocket. All my onions at the back. Some of them are actually still germinating, you know, and it's weeks and weeks ago I sowed them. So they're a bit patchy, and then all of a sudden some have just started to wake up. These are some extra things I've sown, some oriental mustard. That's a red salad bowl. Use a couple of the different composts. Everything in here is now in the Verve peat-free from B&Q with vermiculite, apart from there's a couple of things I've sown in the sort of like young plant compost, the John Innes. Not a fan at all, that sort of stuff, because it's very loam based and it does compact, but it's not so much from growing, it's getting them out of these modules when it's like that, you know. So I'll have to make sure I've got plenty of roots on and they push out easy enough, but I think they'll be a bit of a nightmare. That's why I tend to not use that sort of stuff, but I've got to try it out. That's the original beetroot here that I sowed. Can't remember the name of this one. And then there was the Ishikura spring onions. Ishikura spring onions, very patchy. So I didn't have any more seeds either. So I managed to get some. I got some very usual Bolt Hardy, they're a lot thicker. And these are called Feast. So we'll see how they go. At the back there I've got some lobelia and some of the petunias I usually grow. I've got some Mazure, which failed from a pack of seeds, so I had to get a brand new pack of seeds and resow. That's why these are so tiny to prick them out, like picking cress out, because they did get a bit leggy because something fell over the top of the seed tray the other day and I didn't realise, so the light was blocked off, so they got really leggy, but they'll be alright. Some more romaine lettuce. Then we've got some iceberg, which was sent from David Hunter, I think it is. I think I got your name right, David. I have read your comment. I need to sit down and have a good hour replying to some comments because I've seen them come through. I just need to got to pull my finger out in the one evening and sit down and answer them all. I do read them all. Celery, I've just pricked out the blush because the tango was a bit patchy. So I've got 25 celery. I've got way more plants than what I need in here. And then under there, just all leftovers. But see what I mean about the mazur there, it's a bit leggy, but it'll be alright. And here I've got some of the Durham early spring greens. Not been watered and nothing. Dries out, but they're still, if I watered them, they perk back up. These are the exhibition onions. Not the Kelseys, I've not done any Kelseys this year. First time for a few years, so these are just called exhibition. Which are currently in these pots here, which are not dry. They look dry, but they've got a bit of weight in them. And the two varieties of leek at the back there, they can stay out now. And then these are tomatoes, stacks of tomatoes left. So I'll probably prick out some, you know, next week. These will just stay outside now. Unless if you get frost, I'll take them in. And I'll just prick some backups out of them. And we've got some more brassicas. We've got the Champions collards, the Terza cauliflower. These were sown in the last video, these. Some more of the quails, because I ran out of seeds. Got Durham early. And then this is a mix of the first sowing of quails. And these are the second sowing, so they'll catch up. I think these were sown something like on the 22nd of February. These were something like the 8th of March. So you see, I mean, these have only been in these pots for what, 16, 17 days, something like that, I think. So they've soon shot on. That's the Rigoletto and the Primo 2. Primo 2 always gets biggest first. Clapton cauliflower, all doing okay, bar one's a bit of a runt at the back there, but if we don't make it, then it don't get planted. But it gets to the point now, I might have to pot some of these on in a few days, these bigger ones. Because I just don't trust this weather to go and whack them out yet at the plot. Spuds under here, these were the Swift. Some that started to come up there and there. Don't know if there's anything on that one yet, no. Got some in the middle there. Got some of the Titan sunflower. And I found some seeds that are about 3 years old in one of the heads I took. And I chitted them and some of them started to sprout, but hit and miss. I thought I'm not going to buy any seeds, but if they germinate, I'll grow them. If they don't, I won't. I think that's about it in the polytunnel. Like I say, you know, I'm sure it's David Hunter, so big thank you, David, for your seeds and your plant labels, because I've used a lot of the labels, so they've really come in handy. So I think that's it for this this video. Right, that's it for this video. Give him a bit of courgette and he can please himself then before he takes my finger off. Right, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one, which will probably be a bit more pricking out, planting, and up at the plot hopefully. So I've nothing sowing wise now really until middle of next month, which will be the frost tender stuff. So all being well, this weather will pick up soon, and you know, we don't have real cold snaps like last April, but I'm just being a bit cautious. So thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you next one. See you now, bye bye.